Well, that's it. Okay, I'll send it out to you later. So the first thing about reading is, first, some people say to me, I can't do readings. I say, well, the first thing you need to really explore the card, what you're reading. And the second thing is then try and connect it to your clients, their word. Because I don't know if you remember, Michael, in Frida, we always choose one word to work with. That's always what we do. And that word just kind of represents something for you that you want to improve. So whether that's fear, money, work, anything in your life you want to kind of improve. So we always work with one word. So the first thing is to explore the card and see if we can kind of make sense of the card, like give it a story. If the card hasn't got any meaning, we can't read it. So the more meaning we give the card, the more kind of, the better reading we'll be able to give. So once we've kind of explored the card, the next skill is to try and connect that information to the clients and their word. So that's the real key. So the first thing is have a little look at the card. Oh, you can't see the card? It's the body card. I actually sent you a document to print out for today's session. I don't know if you got it. I sent it on the group. So the idea was to print out, you would have printed out that basically. So you would have had the whole sheet with the card on and what we're going to be going through today. And Natalia is going to join in, sorry, last one. But at the moment, the body card, I can't really help you because I did send it out. The only thing I could do, I don't know if Nadia, sorry, I don't know if Nadine can actually put the picture on the group at all. But anyway, so there's the card. So who can see the card? Can anybody see it? So have a little think. So Michael, first of all, just give me one thing that you can see on the card.
I can see an astronaut.
Okay, give me another few things while you're there.
I can see a rising sun. I can see mountains. I can see clouds. I can see an eye. I can see I can see
That's
a
good
wolf.
enough. Yeah, don't worry, that's perfect. That's perfect. Thank you. So let's see who else can see something. Harry, what about you? Can you see anything different?
I can see a mountain, like a snow-capped mountain. I can see a man looking towards the mountain. I can see something that looks like a mushroom, but it's probably not a mushroom on the right side.
Probably is.
At a sign that's backwards or looking towards, reaching to the mountain. So yeah, that's a guy. That's about it.
Okay, Kirst?
I see a man and he looks like he's on some kind of mission because he's got everything he owns in that bag. That's all he's got. And it's like he's in Narnia. He's in like something like Narnia. He's probably just gone through a wardrobe or a door. And this is a new world and he doesn't know it. It's like, what is it? Because it looks like an ice age or something. And there's a mushroom or a jellyfish. And the colors I like because they're like white and bubblegum blue and yellow, and then on the outside there's like a black egg, and then there's like a golden egg. It's in a circle, and I like it's kind of oval circle, and I like that shape. And is there a number? I can't see a number, and I can't see the thing at the bottom, but
number one.
Number one. So that's very new. So something very new. And the bottom, I can see giraffe legs. Is that actually not the card? I think that's somebody whoever Nina. I can see something underneath the card.
All right.
I don't know where. Okay, so very good. Completely wrong, but really good try. So, as you know, you're never wrong. So the card is up for interpretation, as everything in life. And that's part of the Frido, isn't it? It's like everything's up for interpretation. And that's what gives us our reality. how we interpret. So there's nothing different about the card. I've got my own interpretation, and that's real for me. And Kirsty's got hers, that's real for her, and Michael as well. So this is the great thing. You know, we can see different things in the same picture. So who's there? Nina, have a little go.
For me, I can see the signpost there, where there's numbers and alphabets. And the guy who is there, I believe he's going to look for a treasure, because he has a key in his hand. And he also has, I would say what he has on his back is a bag, and then he has that rolling things. Maybe it's a mat, because he's planning to stay there and explore. And he's looking which way he will go. There's a cave on his right hand side, and then when he look ahead of him on the mountain, there's steps or stairs there. So he needs to figure out which way he's going to go. I do believe maybe it's a treasure, maybe it's something, because he has a key in his hand. And I can see there's puzzle as well, like puzzle sign like on his trousers. And the background really is like blue, white, and then it's kind of like a mixture. So maybe it's kind of like he doesn't know which way to take. It's kind of a bit confusing. He doesn't know which way to take, and he has to figure out, or maybe he has to try both sides, or maybe
That's
that's
good.
it.
Perfect, perfect. We're just getting a feel. We're getting lots of different viewpoints. How about TT?
Yeah, I can see it looks like the guy's holding a key in his hand, and they look like puzzle pieces on his leg, but also on the rucksack I can see like different shapes, so like a triangle and a circle and then an oblong, and it just looks as if he's going towards, it looks like two sort of different kind of mountain ranges. One looks quite green and then one looks obviously snow-capped. So it's almost like two different worlds coming together. And then the opening just looks like a little cave or like a new direction for a new journey. And then, yeah, just basically what everybody else has already said.
Cool, that's perfect. Thank you. And Natalia? Natalia is here.
All right. Hey, so I see the first thing that came to me was the colors, blue and green, which are the colors of healing. So it definitely resonates personally with me. Also, the body is represented by the person that is wearing the suit with puzzles. So it tells me the body is the puzzle of the bigger picture, is as important as other puzzles in order to get a complete picture. And for some reason the key is a bit weird for me, because I don't see what he's gonna open. He's heading towards the mountain, so I'm not quite sure. It looks more like a sword, the size of it, and there is a legend of a guy taking out the sword from the rock, but it takes not only the body strength but also the pure heart as well. And that immediately reminded me of this story. So yeah, I think that would be
okay.
That would be over.
Nice. And finally, Magic, all the way from Thailand.
So I have the print here, so you don't need to hold it, Gary. I have it. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank God, one person did his homework.
So I think what no one said, I'm not sure, but I think no one said this, that on the mountain there are some kind of steps. I see this like a triangle on the left side of the mountain, which for me looks like a steps into the mountain. And obviously there is snow on top of the mountain, or something which represent maybe cold, yeah. And above the body word is another sign, like a upside down triangle. And what else? I think everything was already said. I don't really see. I like the colors. I like the blue colors, which are going like a light and dark, and obviously the light in the which are leading into the cave. It's have some kind of meaning also, like go there, go there. You know, this is like a shortcut, but not necessary. Needs to be like that, and there are lots of signs on the trousers, on the backpack, like those puzzles and triangles, circles, and yes, I think that's it then.
Okay, cool. That's great. So lots of interpretations. So this card is the first card in Frido. And a few of you kind of make, one or two of you mentioned there's a triangle at the bottom. There's actually a triangle at the top, very small, like a grey one. And they've all got different meanings that I interpret in Frido, but also I always encourage people to interpret for themselves. So some people might say the red triangle represents the root chakra. Sometimes I say that because it's like the beginning of a journey. This actually is the first card in Frido. It's the body. So when you're choosing something to improve, like your word, it's like you're beginning that journey to improve that word. You know, the mountain represents your word, and you're going to go into, you're going to explore it and learn and improve on that journey. So whether that journey for you is money or relationships or fear, or whatever else, you know, anything else you choose in your life, confidence, you know, joy, happiness, freedom, or it could be a name of somebody. You know, I might want to I might want to kind of improve my relationship with somebody. So I might mention their name, you know, I might use their name as the word for my journey. I'll be exploring them, that person, maybe it's my partner. So I'm exploring her. So, you know, that's the beautiful thing with Frido. You just pick a word that has a meaning for you, and then you start to open up a conversation with the card. That's the first part of our journey. We always connect to the card and we do a little reading, and we start opening the mind up a little bit to explore. That's this first part. So for example, have a think about what word you would choose. Just pick a word that's important for you. We're not going to go through the exact journey. I'm trying to teach you from a kind of teaching point of view. So pick a word that you might want to explore in your life right now. Something important. Don't just pick any old word, something you feel like I actually want to improve that word. It could be a negative word that you want to improve, or it could be a positive word that you want to improve. There's nothing wrong with having a lot of money and wanting to make even more money, or having a great relationship and making that even better. So Frido, you know, improvement, it's not to say we're not happy with things. So we just want to make things even better. Or some people have got issues that they do definitely want to make better. So have a think about a word that you would choose, and then have a think about how you can relate that card to your word, because that's what we've got to do first of all in any kind of reading. When we're kind of going to give a session to a client, the first thing is we need to understand the card. So you've got time, you're going to practice this over the coming days and weeks. So you're going to get to know this card. You know, it's going to be a whole story in this card. And then the next thing is, how do I relate this story to my client's word? So that's the next stage. So have a think about how you can connect this card to your word, because that's what you're going to be doing on clients. So have a think about your word, think about the card. You don't need to be an expert, obviously, Frido reader yet, but it's just kind of playing and exploring. And on the website, all the cards are there, so you can spend time this week practicing this a little bit as well. So you get good at it. So when you do clients, it's like easy for you, it becomes. So write down how you can connect this card to your word. And I will give you a few tips from if I was giving you all a reading. I'll probably say, well, it's kind of a beginning of the journey for your word. You know, it's like you might have experienced this word in your life. Of course you have already, but this is a new journey. So if my word was relationship, I'm not saying I'm going to explore a new relationship with someone else. It could be, or it could be I'm exploring a new relationship with the one I've got already, like another level, because I want to improve that relationship. So maybe, you know, that can connect to your word. Maybe you want to change. Maybe you want to completely transform that word, or maybe you just want to improve it, what you've already got. You've got the key, of course. The key's there. There's some direction here. There's like a little signpost, and that would maybe tell me, are you going in the right direction? Are you on the right direction? Because a lot of people end up going down a path and it's the wrong path, and they waste a lot of time in their life going down the wrong path. So it's always good to be clear about, is this the right path, and spending a bit of time considering that. So this card is also about clarity. In Frida, it's kind of being clear, is this the right mountain? Because there's a lot of mountains. So am I clear? Can I see the big picture of what I'm looking at? So if I'm looking at, for example, fear, you know, what does fear look like? Am I clear about what fear looks like for me? Because often we're not that clear. We might want something, you know, I might want to open up a new business, but how clear am I about that business? It's really good before I go into the journey and start getting entwined in that journey and becoming a bit complicated and wasting my energy. I want to know that I can see the whole picture here. I can see the vision. So this card's very much about making sure you're clear about your vision of your words, the word you're choosing today. You know, how clear am I? And trying to be clear about it. The card's kind of suggesting that you're prepared. You're already you're prepared. So kind of, I would just say, just check your backpack and check your abilities and check everything that you need to go on that journey to improve that word you've chosen. So that's how I would see it. Another thing I would see on this card is there's like a cave and there's some stairs. There's a lot of ways I can travel this journey. You know, which way? And again, it's up for interpretation. I might say, well, yeah, I'll go through that way, maybe the cave, but maybe it's a bit scary going that way. So maybe with your words, there might be a journey within your words, or that might be a bit scary for you. And you might want to take the safe routes. So again, that's kind of up to you to think about, because this is just about discovering and seeing, is that a good way? Do I want to go that way? You know, maybe the road less traveled perhaps is the best way, the fastest way. But the path everyone usually takes might be the safest. Who knows? So it's just exploring what's on the other side of the mountain. You might end up, you get to the top of the mountain and actually you don't want to be there with that word. So it's a beginning of a journey on this card. It's like, are you ready? And make sure you've got clarity. You're going in the right direction. You can see your word as like a big picture. So this is really cool, because when we practice this particular journey as the exercises, which we'll go into, we're going to be doing like an art therapy. So we'll go into it, and it's about expanding that part of our brain that is more visual, because that's really good in life to actually be able to see things more clearly, see the big picture. It's like people in the army, you know, the soldiers don't have that vision, but the leader does. He's the one who is standing on the mountain and actually seeing everything that's going on. So it's a powerful card to have that card. So, you know, take your notes and during the week kind of practice, do the journeys on yourself through my videos on the website so you can get some practice. Okay. So I did send this sheet on the group. So for those who haven't printed it, you can always print it out another time, or you can write it out. you can always, it's only one page. You can write it out if you don't want to print it out. And who's got the sheet? TT. So TT, maybe you could actually read what's on the first side.
So I just popped it up just to say, obviously next to the meeting, just popped it up like it's on my screen.
Okay.
Just thought that would be easier because I don't have a printer.
Oh, that's fair enough.
Hang on, I'm just finding it again now. So what did you want me to do?
So if you've got the first page where it says body and it's got the picture of the card,
Yeah.
just read that page maybe, because I want to start during these sessions. I'm going to ask you to actually participate, and instead of me reading all the things, I'm going to ask different people to read different things out, and I'm going to kind of tick you all off to know that, oh yeah, Tiffany can do that. I don't need to test her on that ever again. So this is, yeah. So
Right. So that's the reading, yeah.
yeah. So it's over to you now. So it's like you're the Fido coach in this moment.
Okay. So on the what details can you see in the body card? What do they mean? Yeah, that part. Your adventure begins here and now. Yep.
You're at the beginning of your journey.
Yeah, so it says you're on that card, on that picture. So it says, welcome, enjoy your Fido journey. Then it says, your adventure begins here and now. There are many ways to go. Only you can choose which path to take.
Okay, so I think you're on something else, which is okay. You're probably on, which is fine, actually. I think, where did you find it?
So on the thing you sent through, it takes us through to the body card, and then you've got reading, journey.
Oh, right, gotcha. I understand. That's fine. That's actually okay.
Okay.
But in future, we'll get, if we can get these kind of somehow up, because these are actually the teaching.
So is that the journey
sheets.
then? The journey instead of the reading?
Yeah, and you've got the journey on the other side. So this is what I would use if I'm facilitating a journey.
Yeah,
I'd
so
actually-
that link that you popped through takes you through to those three options. It's either reading, journey, or
oh yeah. But I think I also put a document link on there as well, an actual document where I said print out this page.
Oh, for
yeah. So that's this page.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The other link you got goes to the free play on the website, which is great. You know, you can do all the journeys on there. It's got loads of information on there, which is fantastic.
Yeah, okay. So welcome to your Fido journal, all of that sort of, that's the whole document that's on there.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, okay, doesn't matter. We won't go on to that, Tiffy. I want to stick to this one.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, has anyone else printed out that at all?
Gary?
Yeah.
I don't think we got this one.
So I have just found the one that, that's up the top. So the mountain represents your symbol, the affirmation, and all of that. Is that the one?
The mount, yes.
Yeah, okay. So it's in the group, guys, but it's like miles up. There's a lot of documents in there. But so you're at the beginning of your journey and you're about to discover your symbol.
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
Do you want to read that? Have you got that now or not?
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah, there's just so many documents in the group. So that's the one I've got up now.
Yeah, just the one sheet.
Yep.
So yeah, fire away.
Okay, so you're at the beginning of your journey to discover more about your symbol. You will gain more clarity, focus, and stability to navigate your way through in the best possible way. And then, do you want me to do the reading? Because now
carry on all the way down.
Okay, so the mountain represents your symbol. You are ready, and the adventure begins here and now. There are many ways you can go, and only you can choose which path to take. Do you go through the mountain or over it? Which way is safer? And are you sure that you will find what you are looking for? Sometimes the path less traveled is the best one, but the one most traveled is often the safest. You may find yourself lost, but then again, you may find yourself along the way. Is the risk worth taking, or maybe stay where you are? Whatever choice you make, you have the key to your dreams. And the affirmation here is, I am always clear of my purpose. And then the guidance is, make sure your mind and body are well prepared and you are ready to face what lies ahead. Take your time to plan carefully and be clear about what it is that you truly want. And once you begin, you must use all of your abilities, knowledge, and understanding as the key to unlocking the doorway to attaining your dream.
Very nice, Tiffy. Shh, wonderful. What do I owe you?
Just 1,000. We'll call it Chris. 1,000.
Okay, that was very good. I mean, I'd expect that from you because Tiffany's an experienced facilitator anyway, and she's done lots of Frido. So it's like this is water off a duck's back for her, which is great. So that's perfect. So what I'm going to do is on my sheet here, I'm going to tick Tiffany off that she's done that reading.
Oh, yay!
And it's not that you have to do every reading because you've done it. You can do all the readings. It's more like seeing if you're confident and you can sort of do it. So that's great. That's one thing done. So that's terrific. Okay, so that's the reading. So now, we're going to go on to the next part of Frido, which is the exercises in the journey. So, for example, the first exercise is always a mind exercise, always, as some of you know already. There's only 3 exercises in each Frido journey, and that's the mind exercise, the body exercise, and the daily ritual. There's the 3 things always. And of course, they're all different for their own reasons. You know, during this training, you'll get more and more understand. You know, there's a lot that's gone into Frido. There's 20 years of information. So I'm trying to be careful not to overload, you know, with too much. I'm trying to keep it clear, and you'll learn a lot of the details as you're going through it over time. So the next part of the Frido is this page, which is the other, it's on the sheets page that I sent on the document. And this is an art therapy exercise. So it's to exercise the right part of our brain, the creative side, the visual side. So often I get accountants who don't like this particular journey, or lawyers, because they're very black and white and sort of linear in their thinking. And there's nothing wrong with that at all, because they're really good on some of the other journeys. But this one is particularly designed to expand that part of the mind, the vision. So we can look at our word and see it more clearly. That's the idea of it. People with really good vision can just see things really well. You know, all great leaders have great vision. So the more clear we can see something, the more we will understand that something, the more we'll see it, the more we can learn and understand what that is. And therefore, by learning and understanding more, we can then use that information to kind of improve in some way that area of our life, or that word, whatever it connects to in our lives. So this exercise, and you can play with it because we're not doing the actual journey, but we're going through it. So it's not the same. Like I said, you're not customers here, you're not clients, so you're not going to be doing the whole journey. We're talking about it and exploring it. So the first thing is about drawing your word, because this is connected to the body, this card. And I'm going to go back a step. I got a bit carried away when I was talking about the vision and the right side of the brain. That is in this card, but actually there is logic in this card as well. A great leader will have both aspects, like vision and also logic. So when I went on about the right side of the brain, that's actually in the 3rd card in Frido, which we'll get to in 2 journeys time, which is the heart dreaming. It also belongs to this family, because who knows how many cards there are in each family in Frido? Does anyone know?
8.
So that, well, there's 8 families, correct. There are 8 families in Frido. Yeah, Tiffany got it. 3. So there's 3 cards in each family. There's 8 families in total, and there's 3 cards in each family. So there's 24 cards in total, plus of course the Frido card, which makes the 25th. So this card is part of a family. There's 2 other characters, 2 other cards in this family. I don't know if anyone knows what they are. It doesn't matter. You'll learn them anyway. But the other two cards, it's important to know this kind of information because it runs through every family. There's a red triangle at the bottom, and that tells me this is the red family. It's in the red family. And there's two other red number 1 cards. There's two other cards with the number 1 and the red triangle at the bottom. They belong to the same family, the red family. They're the first card. So in tarot reading, some people might call that the Fool. It's like the first card in the tarot. It's the beginning the journey. The other two cards of the journey, this is really important. This is the parent of the family. This is the mother and father. So in Frido, the one card of the 3 is always the parent. It's the mother and father of the family. The other two cards is the son and daughter. And the son and daughter are like the two halves, the two opposite halves of this card. So if we look at the body, the two opposite kind of halves that make up the body in Frido, I've called the heart and the brain. And that will make sense to some of you. They're quite opposing. You know, when they work together, that's great, but often they don't work together so well. So in Frido, the son and daughter are always opposing. It's like the devil and the God, the angel and the devil are the son and daughter of the elements card. So they're always opposite to each other. In the resistant card, which is the parent card, the two children are called positive and negative. They're the two halves of resistance, and they're always opposite to each other. So there's always polarity that runs through Frido with the son and daughter, the brother and sister. And they also represent masculine and feminine, of course. But this card is the parents. This has got them both things. This is the devil and the angel. In the body's case, it's the heart and the brain. This represents, if the body walks over there, the brain and heart go with it. So it's actually the master of the brain and heart, in fact, because wherever the body goes, everything else goes with it that's in the body. So coming back to this card, it's a parent. To know if it's a parent, you look at the triangle at the top of the card. It's not very clear on the video, but there's a grey triangle. There's 3 coloured triangles that you'll find in Frido. There's one for the parent, which is grey. There's one for the daughter that is white. And there's one for the son that is black. I like to also, when I do readings and explore, I like to think of the yang as the white as a yang energy, actually. I don't get too much into putting too many names to things because we've all got different ideas. You know, I'll talk about chakras and someone will come up with 3 different chakra concepts. So I have my own and you have your own. So, but for myself, I sometimes think of the grey as being the Tai Chi. It's called Tai Chi symbol, which is the yin and yang symbol. It's called Tai Chi. That's the whole symbol. And it's made up of yin and yang. So this would be the Tai Chi, the whole thing. And then the daughter and the son would be the yin and the yang kind of thing. And that really is quite useful for me when I'm doing readings as it happens. But again, it's more important for you to find out the meaning for yourself. That's much more important. In Frido, the power is because you've chosen the meaning. That's always the power. That's where the whole power of Frido is. It's your meaning. You know, everything that I say comes out of my mouth, you own it, like you interpret it, therefore it belongs to you, not me. So this is very powerful in Frido. Everything in life actually belongs to us, but we don't always think it does because of this separation. We think, oh no, that doesn't belong to me. When someone was rude to me, oh, that's horrible. You know, that's not me. Or if you see someone who's really aggressive and you think, oh, that's not me, or someone says something, you say, that's not me. But actually, we're interpreting all the time. So therefore, as soon as we interpret anything in life, actually, that's ours. That's our thoughts. That's our interpretation. So that's a very powerful idea. So if you can imagine your whole life, everything belongs to you. You'll see, our experience will change when everything belongs to you. And we often think, well, I don't want that to belong to me because that's disgusting, you know, or that's horrible or whatever. But actually, when you take ownership of it, it changes. Whenever we own something, everything changes. The negative, the fear. The fear is a problem because we don't actually own it. So we don't think we don't understand that it belongs to us. Once it belongs to us, it's like it becomes our best friend because we can use it. We can use everything in our life. So going through the Frida, we can literally learn about anything and we can use everything however we want. If we want to use anger to, you know, scare somebody off, or anger to maybe motivate ourselves in some way, or anger to be, you know, show love. You know, we're kind of in Frida, we're kind of saying, forget about what the dictionary says, forget about what everyone's telling us. Let's make our own interpretation of these words. Because I can use anger for good stuff. I can use anger for lots of great stuff. I can use fear for amazing things for myself. If I want to go over there, I'll put fear behind me, and it helps me run away from it. But I'm using it. It's not using me. So it's wonderful. We can use everything. You know, with anything. Depression. Use depression to go into a deep cut off of the whole world, so you can go into the deepest meditation. No one can disturb you. You know, use anxiety to actually, you know, get the energy going. Say, come on, you know, that's like, it's shaking. Anxiety is like this. The problem is when we're not using it and we say, no, we don't want it. We don't want it. We don't know it because we don't know how to use it. So it's giving us a lot of stress. Rather than say, right, this energy, I'm just going to put into some kind of use, do some press ups, go for a run, get a job done. We suddenly change it by using it. Anyway, so coming back to the journey. So we're going to kind of stimulate the body intelligence. This particular card is called the body because we're going to use the body as a symbol to explore our words. So the first thing is we're going to kind of start using the mind, the brain, should I say. And the art therapy is really good for teaching the brain how to look at your words in a more different way. A different way. So we use the art therapy. So when we do this practice, you just start to write your word down. That's the exercise. You write the word down, don't you? Most of you have done this. You just write your word down, use a color, think, okay, what color should I use? So always have some colors for the art therapy, because again, that stimulates different parts of the brain. Also, it has different meanings for us. So that could have some kind of meaning. And I would write my word down, you know, whether it's love. And the idea behind this is to actually, it's actually to try and break some of the old boring ways our brain processes things sometimes. Like sometimes if I say the word, what's your word? Let's see, Michael, what's your word you've chosen?
I've chosen journey.
Yeah, journey. Okay, so if I was to, this is an interesting, funny thing. If I was to ask you to write your name or to write your signature, it'd probably look pretty much the same, wouldn't it, every time?
Yeah.
I'm guessing, right? You know, if I was to look at your books you've written, they probably look the same handwriting every time, probably a similar size, give or take. Generally speaking, it's going to be the same. It's your handwriting. It's the way your brain has kind of always done it that way. So, and that's what we do in life. So imagine it's like your journey, whatever this means for you, your journey, your brain is thinking about that journey in the same way, pretty much it always has. It's like nothing's changed. You're going to be processing it and thinking about it in the same way. Even when you repeat the word journey, it'll probably sound similar. You know, sound almost identical every time you say journey, journey, journey. And if I asked you to write it down 100 times, you'd probably write it the same way. So we're trying to get our brain to start to become more elastic and get out of this programming. There's nothing wrong with writing it the same way, but what's wrong is that we haven't got the flexibility to write it in 1,000 different ways. And why don't we? You know, why don't we? It's more creative. It's a practice of creativity as well. So this is part of this art therapy journey, is to become more creative and get our brain to start thinking more creatively about our word. So it is about our word. So we would write that word journey, maybe in orange script, and then you might write it in big fat letters in another color, and then you might write it messy. And what happens is it starts to kind of challenge us, because you might write, you might have a problem writing it messy. You might have a problem doing that. You might be a very neat person, and you've now got an issue. You'll feel it in your head. You'll think, oh, I don't really like that, writing it messy, if you're a neat person. Having said that, if you're a very messy person, you probably won't like me to say, right, I want you to write it really, really neat, like perfectly neat, in capital letters as well. Block letters, you know, make them look very neat. Or if you need to see that something clearly, you might say, I don't like it when I have to write it really, really tiny, that I can't see it. And things like this. And then you might say, okay, I'm going to write it in reverse. When you look at the journeys, you'll see all the different kind of how to do it and all the different kind of styles, and you can practice. But basically, you're practicing writing that word in all kinds of different ways as possible, as many ways as possible, to start exercising that part of the brain. The more we exercise, it's like going to the gym. We don't just do the one exercise, we want to do all of the exercises so we can exercise all of the muscles. So by writing them in as many ways as possible, we're going to be exercising lots of different parts of those muscles in our brain to help us become more flexible, more adaptable, more creative with our words. And it's amazing, amazing. Just doing that exercise, what it will bring up for each person. You know, the journey itself brings up stuff. Every time I do a journey with someone, I look at how they did the journey. Did they have a problem writing that word backwards? You know, why didn't they use the color red? You know, there's no red. What does that mean? Everything's got a meaning in the process as well. I might just like say, oh, I just noticed you didn't use the color red. And they'll say, oh, I hate the color red. You know, I'm scared of it. It reminds me of like fear or something, or blood, or an accident. So it's just interesting for them to look at. And maybe it might trigger a memory, like when they had an accident, and it allows them to kind of reprocess some of those memories. You know, we don't go into too much detail about that in Freedo, but it's enough to just kind of bring it into the awareness through the journey. The processing often happens later, either at the end of the journey or much later in the week even. And it was suddenly something will come up for that person. And they'll think, oh yeah, that was triggered in Freedo. So lots of things get triggered in Freedo. And then eventually, once we've done all our different words in different colors and styles, we'll pick one. We'd pick one style, one logo. So I've often explained it to you guys who have done lots of these journeys. I'll always say a sign, a logo is really powerful. As we all know, it's like a word symbol. In this case, it's a word symbol, not a picture symbol. So if it was Nike, it would be the word Nike as opposed to the tick. The tick comes in another journey in Freedom. This is about the word. And it's very powerful. It's so powerful. Really incredible having a strong word, a word that you've created. Number one, it belongs to you now. You've spent time creating it. You know, it's so powerful. That's why people who create successful businesses that create their name, they spend a fortune on creating that name. You know, some people think, why on earth do they do that? But there's big reasons. They put so much information into that one word. You know, when you see any word, McDonald's or anything for that matter, those successful ones have put the most meaning into that word before they've chosen it. They say, right, we want our business to represent this, 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 and this, and this. And then we want to have some professional to design it so it really speaks to us. It kind of portrays that exact message. And that's what gives it such power. On an energetically, it sounds weird, but that's why kids grow up as, you know, they're tiny children. They're already asking for McDonald's, you know, before even mother, you know, they're saying McDonald's. It sounds weird, but I see little kids saying McDonald's. It's like they can't even say the word mum, and they're saying it because there's so much power in that word. It's like it spreads across the psychological universe. And it's like, oh yeah, I don't know what it is, but yeah, It's like, oh, it's hot, it's warm, you know, whatever they're telling you, they're not saying it's unhealthy. That's the true thing. McDonald's don't say, oh, we're going to make a really unhealthy burger. They're just making it into a way that they know it's going to sell, as you see on the adverts. And everything that most people will feel in that symbol will be what they want you to hear. But when we become more conscious, of course, we start to make up our own mind what that means. And that's, again, taking our power back and not just agreeing on someone else's interpretation of that symbol. So the symbol's really powerful. So it's like, so Michael, you're going to own that journey now. So you might not have owned it totally in the past. That might not be totally your journey. If it was yours, 100%, that means you would be a master of it. If like the ocean is totally mine, belongs to me, I can do it, but I'm the master of the ocean. So think about that. It's like, if that was yours totally, you would be a master of that word. And you might well be, but who knows?
Can I add to that?
Sure.
What just came through for me is really, when you spoke, I'm thinking, wow, this journey, I've always approached it from the same point. It's the repetition over and over and over again, and bringing it back into our minds. We have about 60 to 80,000 thoughts every day, and 85% of those thoughts are the same thoughts that we had the day before. So this is how we go into this repetition, into this wheel of doing things over and over and over and over again, expecting a different outcome. And so what you've just really opened up for me is to look at a different perspective and recognize it and bring awareness to it. And awareness is the first step into liberation. So very grateful for your wisdom. Thank you.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Thanks for your wisdom, because I didn't know what you were talking about. I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding, because it's your wisdom you just shared there. So that's wonderful. Yeah, and that's observation. That's what Frida, this is all about. It's about learning something different, so we can then maybe use that new information. We might not be, Michael, you might not be able to use that right now, but you've got a new piece of information there. So there'll be a point where you can maybe start, you can use that information to help you on your journey. You might decide, oh, I'm going to do it differently tomorrow. You might just wake up and think, oh, I'm going to do something different I've never done in my journey before. Who knows? But so writing the word is the first thing we need to do. It gives us a stable point. It's the first thing to putting something into our reality is by putting something on a piece of paper and actually making it come alive. So that's really important. The other thing is vision. A drawing sticks in the brain. Most people will know that, a visual will stick in the head. So it's something that's going to be sewn into your brain. When you spend half an hour writing your words in this beautiful beautiful word logo, that is going to be implanted in your brain. You'll never forget it. Plus you'll have it on a bit of paper so the clients can have that with them. That's the most important thing in Frido, is to have a point that you can focus on. Yeah, a lot of people don't achieve what they want, or they get lost, is because they're not focused on one thing. They're focusing on lots of things at the same time. So like one thought is going over there and another thought's going over there, and it ends up a bit like, we're just kind of doing this. And it's like, we've got to prioritize. As we know, we have to prioritize. We might want to do lots of things, but we're not going to get anything done unless we decide what we're going to do first. So it's really about having that ability to focus on what we want to focus on. So, and that starts with the thoughts. If you want to focus on that word, like for example, Harry, what's your word? Has he gone to bed?
No, I can't touch the back.
Oh, well.
Quite cool. Oh, yeah. So my word linked to a body is stillness. Still body, because that's
stillness.
Down. Stillness. People
Yeah,
think
you want to improve what you want to improve that word stillness.
Yeah, stillness of body, stillness becomes some stillness of mind, and what it links in with what Michael and you said about the mind going over the place. Gives me more focus on one thing. My body's still, because that goes still. So still.
Yeah, exactly, and it's powerful. like in martial arts, and I know a lot of other meditations, they teach you to focus on one point. In Aikido, we call it one point. And and if you hold that one focus, you're brilliant, you're amazing, because everything aligns with that one focus. It's like someone running, you know, an athlete. It's like they've just got one focus, that winning line. They're not thinking about who's in the audience. They're not thinking about the weather. They're totally focusing on that one thing. And that's what gives them that power, because they're aligning everything together. Because when we focus on a point, we become the center of that journey. So when you focus on stillness, you actually, what you're doing is you're making it more stable, that the stillness. And the stillness isn't just a word, of course, is it? It's not just a word, it's the meaning. That's where the power is, not the word. The word, you know, it's not that it's not important, but it's the meaning in that word that gives it the power. And it's our ability to connect ourselves to that meaning, that feeling, perhaps, the energy of it, actually. Ultimately, it's just connecting to the energy of it. It's got lots of meaning, but, you know, once you know the meaning, you don't need to think about that anymore. You get to know it. It's like a child. Once you get to know a child so well, you don't have to think about what they're like. They're naughty, they're good, they're this, they're that. You know that already. That's done. Now you can connect to that child, knowing all that, just feeling that child without having to think about what it is you need, you know, you like about them. Or so when you get stillness, once you've understood stillness through the mind, you can then just connect with it very easily, because you'll know it. Like because we start with the mind by getting to know something through the mind sometimes. So once you understand, it's like a book. Once you understand a book by reading it, you don't need to read it anymore. It's like you know what's in the book. You can feel that information. So it kind of comes more into the body. Or sometimes it works the other way around. So yeah, so this is the importance of this art therapy and drawing our word. It gives us this stable point. The other thing is, where I came up with this vision was I was imagining the source of the universe. And I was imagining at the beginning of the universe, what was the first thing? I was thinking, what would I do if I was the source of the universe, or God, or whatever? It's like, what would I do? And I was thinking, well, the first thing, I'd probably have to give something a shape. You know, even a sound has a shape. If I haven't got a shape, I've got nothing to put in it. So even if you think about a sound, it's got a body. Every note has got a body. And that's what kind of keeps it in that shape and gives it that tone. And everything has a body. So I was thinking, yeah, the first thing is you've got to start creating bodies, shapes, in other words. So powerful. And shapes are amazing. I've learned something this morning about shapes, and we're going to go into that soon. We're going to get off this art therapy in a minute, and we're going to get onto the body shaping exercise in a minute. But I want to just finish off with this shape. This is all about shape. The body's all about shape. Water has a shape. It has a body of water. Everything has a shape, right? Your body has its own shape. Your bed has its own shape. A dolphin has its own shape. And I was thinking about this, and I was thinking, why is it so important? It's like, why is shape so important? And I was thinking, well, if an aeroplane was a different shape, it wouldn't fly. I was thinking, how important is shape? And I was thinking, yeah, if an aeroplane's like a different shape, it wouldn't be able to fly. That's where the power is. It's the shape of it. Like the windows in the aeroplane are round. If they were square, they would crack. Some people know that already. But it's like, that's why they've got round windows in aeroplanes. And it's like, wow, if it wasn't that shape, it would crack in that environment. It would be okay down here, but not in that environment. And then I was thinking, if a tree wasn't in that shape of a tree, it would be not a tree. It wouldn't be a tree. It sounds stupid, but I started looking at it and thinking, maybe they're quite important shapes. They kind of have a real power to a shape of something. And then I started trying to relate it to myself. And I was thinking, yeah, if I'm angry, I normally have a certain shape when I'm angry. Or if I'm relaxed, my shape slightly changes into a relaxed kind of shape. And it's really interesting because when I'm in that relaxed shape, I feel relaxed. if I'm in a tense shape and I'm trying to be relaxed, I can't be because I'm not in a relaxed shape. So it's like, it's quite difficult. I'm not saying you can't be, but it's quite difficult. The shape has a huge influence on how we're feeling and where we are. So if we want to be angry, be the Incredible Hulk, look angry, embody anger. Don't try and be angry when you don't want to be angry. It's like the shape has a massive difference. And often people will say, yeah, if you want to be confident, stand up, chin up. And actually it's very true. I'm starting to realize the shape of our body represents whatever we want it to represent, or sometimes it doesn't. So sometimes we get confused, but if you connect your word to your body shape, you can then embody your word. You can connect your body shape to the word. And in my experience, this makes it very powerful. I'm sure you all know and have experienced that lots of times, when you're having a good time and your body shape is it's having a good time. That shape is a good time body shape. And it's like, it's quite interesting. So it's got a lot of power, shape. And this card's all about embodiment, making our word, because the only way, the secret of Aikido is to embody what we want to embody. So if we want to embody love, then we need to actually embody it, know how to embody. How do we become a body of love? And how do we become a body of wealth, or a body of communication, or a body of whatever? And the interesting thing is, what I've discovered in Frido, even becoming a body of fear, or a body of depression, or a body of something negative is amazingly powerful. Because when we embody that, it becomes ours. It doesn't control us anymore. And because it doesn't control us, we now have an opportunity to see how we can use that negative energy in a different way than we've been told or we've been experienced. Often people say, I don't want fear, get it away from me. I don't want depression, get it away. I don't want anger. It's because they've only ever, without realizing it, they've embodied the negative side of those words. So anger has always been a negative thing. But some people have experienced those things in a positive way. Maybe a boxer, has been trained to be angry to help him. So he's actually experienced anger in a much more positive way. So the point is, whether we embody negative words or positive words, they then become ours, and we can do something with them. If I embody fear, instead of me being frozen with the fear, I can communicate my fear to someone I don't like, or who's threatening somebody else. I will give them the feeling of fear. I'll give them a piece of my fear. I'll make them feel fear because I am fear. And that's the beautiful thing about embodiment. We can then do something, we can do whatever we want with it. It becomes like amazing. Everything becomes amazing. So, okay, we're going to move on. I'm not having too many questions at this stage still, so we'll come back. If you've got any questions, write them down and we can share them at the end. So we're going to go through to the next exercise. That was all about the writing one, the drawing, the art therapy. We're going to now, that was the mind exercise. Now we're going to go into the body. So we're going to do the body exercise now, because in Frido, they're both equally important, because the mind and body, when they work against each other, we've got problems. If we're too much in our body and we're ignoring our mind, there'll be problems. You'll experience in your life. There'll be problems because you're not embodying your mind, and the mind is equally important to do things, to whatever it does, and vice versa. If we're too much in the mind and we start neglecting the body, what happens? The body gets sick. The body can't do things. Our mind's amazing. Our mind's 100 miles an hour. My mind is building universes, but my body's fucked because it can't keep up with that because they're not working together. So as we all know here, when the mind and the body and the spirit or the soul, and I'll go one step further and say the environment, when everything works together, that's living the dream, because it's all working together. It's obvious. If everything's working together, if our body organs are working together, we're going to be living our dream in the body. If our mind, all the parts of our mind are working together, amazing mind. So if we put, and if our environment's working with us, then that's amazing. So it's all about getting everything to work together. You know, that's the perfect Frido, is when everything works together. That's the master kind of level. So we're going to go on to the body exercise. It's called body shaping. So it's really about, yeah, being able to embody whatever our words, in this case, our words, whether they're good or bad words, it's about embodying them. So it's a bit more like a yoga thing. It's a bit more like a asana, and body shaping. And, you know, in yoga, I've seen on some classes that they have different shapes. They have the warrior shape, or they have the tree, and they have the plank. You know, they've actually got shapes already. And in martial arts, they have shapes as well, like the monkey style and the crane. So they see the value of embodying a shape. But in Frido, you're going to we create the shape of our words. I don't want to be a plank. I don't mind doing the plank, it's nice, but I want to actually embody something that's more relevant for me, something that's actually relevant in my life, like money or love or relationship. I want to kind of tap into that energy through my body. So I'll create a body postures based on that word you've chosen. So Magic, what word have you chosen? We'll see what word he's chosen. Is he there? He's gone to sleep. Oh, here he is.
Money.
Yeah, he's
Money.
got it. It's money.
Sorry, money. Oh, money. Okay, cool. Yeah, so if you want to improve money, you've got to embody money. So you've got to make a shape. If you make a shape, if your body is in a shape of something else, it ain't going to be connected to money. You won't understand money. You won't know how it moves, because to really understand money, we need to be able to really get into its skin. We need to make it a body, because money needs to know what it's like to be a body. Imagine that. If you want money to come into your physical world, it needs to be like a body. You know, it needs to know how to think and how to feel and what to do. You know, because at the moment, money's been made for a particular reason. It's already got that program in it. But to change that program, if we make our body into a money shape, we can start to reprogram the actual money, the money we're dealing with anyway. You know, give it some eyes, give it a brain, you know, so to actually think about what it's doing. And on the opposite, but the same spectrum, your body is learning what it's like to be money as a real being, not a piece of paper. It's like, oh, right, actually, money can breathe. You know, money likes to be kept nicely. If you think about it, it likes to be kept nicely, looked after, taken care of. You know, when people just throw their money around and whatever, it's like they're not taking care of their money, right? They're throwing it around. They're just using it and whatever. They're not caring about it. Or they might have it screwed up in their pockets. It's like, well, that's not very good. Like if someone screwed you up in your pocket, you wouldn't want to play with them. So it's like, treat money like the body. It's like, yeah, I want to look after my body, count my body, communicate with my body. You know, I want to speak to it, get to know it. Imagine that if you didn't know your body, where would you be? If you actually didn't know anything about your body, like nothing, you probably wouldn't be able to walk. You wouldn't be able to talk, you wouldn't be able to use it. You've got no idea. So if we don't know about money, of course, that's why we're poor, because it's like having a body we know nothing about. So I haven't got a clue how to use this, how this works. So by embodying it, we're starting to actually connect our whole body system to the whole money, our money symbol, and we're starting to now talk to each other. It's like, oh, this is what it feels like, and that's what it feels like. And actually, yeah, I want to go and help people. Think about that question. You might think, actually, I want to help people. And the money also wants to help people. So if you actually then start using yourself to help people, you'll probably find money starts coming in, because that's what your money wants to do. Or that's what you want to do, maybe. Or maybe you just want to, you know, be greedy and sort of just eat more money or eat more things. But again, you'll find the truth for yourself. And when we embody things, we'll start to find out the truth. We'll start to realize, actually, I don't want to be greedy. Actually, I don't want all that. You know, actually, this is what I want. I just want this. There's lots of amazing things you'll discover. I've discovered so many things through Frido, like, wow, it's like mind-blowing things about everything that I look at and explore. I mean, one of the best things about money for me was I started to, through Frido, I started to see my own different viewpoint, that it's an investment. It actually is an investment money. That's what I saw. It's like you spend it to invest. And it represents energy in many ways, because ultimately I saw money as being just energy, in the sense of, if I buy something to eat with my money, why am I doing that? To give myself energy or to feel good in some way? You know, if I spend it on a holiday, why am I spending it? That money I'm spending so I can have a nice holiday, so I can feel good. It's energizing me in some way, right? So I started looking at that and thinking, that's interesting, because I see people who are very poor, and I see that they do jobs which are low paid and they don't like the job. So I'm thinking that's interesting, because what they're doing is they're using a lot of money, they're investing a lot of their energy into a job they don't like that much. Therefore, it's actually stressing them out more, because they don't like the job. So they're using a hell of a lot of energy. And in return, they're getting something back that they're now going to spend. Now, if they spend that on a McDonald's, think about what's happened. Yes, the McDonald's will give them some energy. I'm not disputing that. There'll be some energy. But in that process, they're going to be using also energy up, digesting the McDonald's. So if you kind of work it all out, that kind of whole investment of theirs, they've used a ton of energy working in a job they don't like. They've spent a load of energy digesting the McDonald's, and they've gained some energy from the McDonald's. And if you kind of look at on the profit and loss spreadsheet, you'll probably find out you were at a loss. It was a bad investment. You've lost more energy than you've gained. You've gained a bit of energy from the McDonald's, but you've lost way more than that on the job, and also the McDonald's digestion process as well, and whatever else it does. So that really changed my life, my relationship with money. I started thinking, okay, I'm just going to, everything I spend, I'm going to invest, meaning everything I put into something, I'm going to enjoy first of all. Therefore, I'm not spending a lot of energy. I'm going to do something I actually enjoy. It makes me feel good. I'm actually getting paid for then doing the job. Me doing this session, I love it so much. I'm getting paid in energy right now. It's amazing. It's not costing me anything. Maybe a bit of, you know, physical energy, but I'm getting so much energy in return back. And then if you're getting a job where you're being paid money, it's not the money, it's what you do with the money is where the investment is. What do I do with this money? I could have £100 and buy McDonald's for the next month, or some shit, you know, some rubbish that's not going to give me much energy in return. Or I could buy something, you know, really, really valuable that's going to give me lots of pleasure all the time. So I'll always say to people, you know, I'm going to buy a nice solar power. It's cost me a lot of money now, but over 10 years, it's going to be returning that investment 100 times. When I buy a t-shirt that I like and I feel comfortable in it, every time I wear it, that's giving me energy. So I might have invested £5 or £10 or whatever, and I've invested that work that I've had to do in return for something I can enjoy every day. So it's all about, so I've learned a lot about money on that journey, but you'll learn your stuff, not my stuff. You'll have your own insights, so that when we embody, so that's really powerful. So body shaping, let's get some shapes going so you can feel what that's like. Like, how do you get into the shape? Nina, what's your word? And maybe find a shape for it.
Mine is confidence.
Okay, so find a shape, a body shape that feels like that's confidence, a shape for confidence.
I will just do.
Yeah, go through your body. You take your time, you know, your hands, your feet, make sure, and each of you can do this just to get a feel of it. Find a shape for your body that represents your word for you. It can be any shape you want, but as long as you're saying this is representing my word, and go through all your body, your feet, all the way through your knees, your hands, and adjust, keep adjusting them until that feels right. That feels like it's connecting to my word. And it doesn't have to be a shape other people think it should be. You know, it could be something, you could be lying down in a ball and saying you're confident, because that's the shape you're choosing to represent that word. That's the beauty of Frido. You're not doing a shape that you think is that word. You're doing it what feels right for you. So Harry, go into a shape. Everyone go into their shape. Find a shape. Play with it. You could have lots of shapes. You don't have to have one, of course. You could have one shape, or you could have more than one shape. And these are really good to perfect these shapes, because you'll start to, and while you're in that shape, just start to feel that word more. Go through your body, keep on adjusting, always keep on adjusting and kind of refining your body, even the body cells in your body. Notice how you want them to be, the shape of your body cells, and find a shape that you're really, really connected to your word with. Like there might be more than one, but you sort of try and find one for now. Of course, you can explore lots. You could have a whole, list of asanas, which is all your word. You could create a whole yoga program on one word. There could be 100 different shapes for that one word. How amazing is that? I can see Kirsty got excited about that. So it's incredible. So you can create different shapes. And the real power is, it's not so much the shape. It's like you're creating that shape consciously to connect to your word. You'll have your own reasons for that. Somebody might create a warrior shape that looks like a little child, because that's what that means for them. I'm not going to, I'll tell that person to tell everyone to mind their own business, because that's my shape I'm choosing to represent this word. That's where the power, again, of Frido is. You're not having to create a shape that you think should be that word. It's how you want it to be. You could be lying on the bed and just say, hey, this is my confidence shape. And you'll notice how you start feeling. As you start going through, feeling that shape this is your confidence shape, making some adjustments if you need to, and you'll start to actually connect into that energy. And you'll sit there not looking kind of confident that people would expect you to be looking like, but you will feel confident. You will feel more and more confident because you'll start to embody it. And you could just then be on stage and be sitting there relaxed, but so confident, right? Inner confidence. Or other people might be more like this, more like, it doesn't matter. It's whatever it is for you. That's where the power is. So these shapes are so powerful. So go into your shape, start to tune into them a little bit and notice how your body cells feel. And I'm going to give you an experiment to try. While you're in that shape and you're feeling that energy of your words a bit more, it takes practice to really feel it, like big time. But, to begin feeling it, I want to show you the difference. Imagine now all your body cells in your face and everything is matching your word, how you want it to be. And then you might start getting a slight feeling of your word, that energy coming into your body cells. You might notice how your body's responding. But then we're going to do a test. While you're in this energy, I want you now to kind of pick a completely different kind of word, like something extreme, like fear or anger or depression or whatever, something very different. And just notice how your body shape or cells change just by thinking of that other energy, suddenly connecting into that other energy and embodying another energy. Notice your body changing. It's probably not going to be exactly the same. Your body cells may slightly change their shape because you're looking for another shape, of course, or you might allow it to happen naturally. As soon as you're thinking of something completely different and embodying that completely different thing or word, you might notice your body cells or your body starts to slightly shift. And when it's shifting, it means it's changing shape, not necessarily from the outside big time, but, you know, subtle. And then come back to your word and notice how your body cells begin to slightly shift, perhaps. If they don't worry about it. But that's what will often happen. And then you'll notice them shifting again. So you're actually changing shape. So if you can imagine through your day, you're changing shape constantly. You know, 1 minute your shape is nervous, anxious, then it's excited and silly, then it's intelligent. It's like constantly changing shape. That's why we're feeling different all the time, because the shape is now kind of influencing us, how we're feeling. So with practice, we've become a bit more conscious of like, oh, how do I want to be? What do I want to embody right now? Is it confidence? Is it my journey? Is it something else? Is it eating? You know, I want to embody eating right now and things like this. So we can become more present in each moment. And we become more, I would say, a bit more conscious and in control in some way. I don't like using that word control, but kind of, you know, we have choice. We can choose how we want to be in each moment. So shape's amazing, unbelievable. Yeah, and emotion as well. It's like when we're feeling sad, sadness has a body shape. You know, when I say body, not just the cellular body. You know, each atom, each cell in your body, the organs, they all have their shape, and they'll respond to that emotion, that feeling, and they'll go into that shape. If you can change that shape into something else, you will change how you feel, and you'll change how you behave, and you'll change how you think, because that will align with the new shape that you've created in your body. But it's not just pretending. It's not like a fake shape where you try and pretend you're confident, you know, or you'll pretend you're happy by making a smile on your face. It's not about that at all, because a smile might not be happiness for you. It might be a different shape. It might not be so extreme. You know, to make a perfect circle, if it's not perfect a circle, it is no longer a circle. It's something else. So if we're going to smile, we can smile so many wrong ways that are nothing to do with happiness. So it's like, what's my body cells doing when I'm happy? And then notice that shape. That's the one, that's the happiness you want to embody, not the big fake smile, thinking that's happiness, because it might not be for you. It might be someone's idea, someone that's told you've got to smile, that's you know, make yourself happy. It's like, well, I don't know, I see a lot of happy clowns who are alcoholics and manic depressive, so that doesn't work for me. So yeah, find your own way. Coming back to that concept in Frida, always find your own way. That's the only way. So, and then we do an amazing thing. We need to then breathe life, because with Frida, we've got the mind exercise, we've got the body exercise, and now we've got the ritual. And it's the ritual that is key. It's the ritual we could do every day. We could do all day long. Like the first two exercises, we wouldn't normally do so regular. We do them sometimes when we want to go on an exploration. But this one, it kind of puts it all together. The ritual puts both the mind and the body exercise together as one simple ritual that's powerful. All the rituals in Frido are designed to improve our natural abilities as a human being. For example, some of the rituals are breath work. Some of them are shaking, some of them are stretching, some of them is dancing, some of them is, you know, kinesiology, some of them is acting. You know, it kind of improves all the parts of ourself that make us a human being and our abilities. It improves our abilities. So when we know how to breathe properly, we will know that's fantastic for our body. You know, it's amazing. And when we can move properly, and when we can act properly, you know, when we're doing all these kind of things, we're becoming a really masterful human being. Because those are bits. So all the Frido rituals help us improve different abilities as a human being. But also they actually bring our word to that embodiment, because the shape by itself isn't enough. Just going into the body shape isn't quite enough. We need to breathe life into it. You know, you could make a body like a baby. Imagine I'm God, I create a baby, but I don't put any life into it. It's going to be kind of this nothing. like rubber baby, or energyless baby. It's just going to be like a body, an empty body, an empty heart. It's just going to have the shape. So it's not only the shape we need, but we need to put life into that shape. If you took the breath out of my body would just collapse and be nothing on the floor. So in this exercise, we do a body, this is a ritual, and it's called body breathing. And we're going to breathe life into our shapes. So, so two things this is good for. Body breathing is wonderful for the body. It's for me personally, it's the ultimate breathing. Full body breathing to me is the ultimate breathing. It makes sense, doesn't it? Like if every part of your body can breathe, surely that's better than part of your body breathing and parts of it not being able to breathe. So to me, it's very logical. If every cell in my body could breathe, if my heart could breathe by itself, if my feet can breathe, if my skin can breathe, if my nose can breathe, that'd be amazing. I'll be full, every part of my body be breathing rather than just my nose or my lungs. Because at the moment we rely on our nose and lungs or whatever to suck in the oxygen and then transport it all through the body. It's a fucking crazy process, right? It's like mental. It's like, oh my God, I've got to do it again. It's got to find all the right parts in the body. So yeah, this is full body breathing. This is now training out every cell in our body to breathe on its own. And as you know, some of you know Bob, Master Bob. You've met him, some of you, and he's a great master. And he kind of showed me this years ago, quite a few years ago. He's a master of breath work. And he actually said to me, every single part of the body can breathe by itself. And it's like, it's incredible. You're getting every part of the body then to absorb energy in one breath. As you're breathing through your mouth, so is your body. It's not coming down your throat into your feet. It's coming directly into your feet, because all the muscles need to do is learn how to breathe, expand like a balloon. If it expands, it's opening itself to energy, and then it contracts and it pushes that energy back out again. That's kind of basic Frido breathwork technique. If the body can just do that, expand. If you expand your lungs now, you'll probably find that air will go into them. If somebody could just expand your lung, it would suck air into them. Or expand your nose. If you suddenly opened your nose muscles and throat muscles, you would have a passageway open. So energy would just go straight in. I find myself like we're not masters of that yet. So we've got to suck the air in, force it through into the body by sucking it through rather than just having the body completely open. Not so much open, but being able to open and close at will. So we're going to do a body breath technique. Again, we're not going through the whole ritual as we would do with clients. This is more about learning what it's about and why, why we're doing them. So if you kind of go into your shape, like find a shape to represent your word. I like to use the word in the training because it gives you more, well, it's going to benefit you anyway. It's going to give you some actual benefit in your life in this process, but also it will give you a kind of an understanding what your client's going to be experiencing. So go into your shape, and what I like to do is you don't have to, but it's good to get something you can squeeze. So I use Free Dog usually. It could be a pillow. It could be a pillow or something you can squeeze. Now there's a reason I do this in Frido. We use objects a lot. There is a good reason. It's not just because we love Free Dog, and that's true. We do love Free Dog. He's an integral part of the family. But there is an actual serious reason why I always use Free Dog or an object, because often we're stuck in our body. When we're looking at life and trying to find out answers, we're stuck in our body. We're only looking from one viewpoint. We're looking out of our eyes. So when I say to you, have a look at anger, you're only looking at it kind of from your body outwards. And you're not looking at it from another viewpoint. So I always like to use objects. So for example, if your object represented your word, you will start to have a slightly different viewpoint, because you're not stuck in your body. Now you've taken your word out of your body, and now you've got an object in front of you that you can look at that represents your words. You can actually look at your journey, Michael. It's not stuck inside you anymore. You've taken it out into an object. You're saying this represents my object. So energetically, and also there's lots of psychological good things about this, is this suddenly becomes my word as well. I've duplicated it. It's like my word's inside me, and now my word's also outside me. And this is one of the keys of Frida, to be able to shift our viewpoint, not just from being stuck inside all the time, but being able to go outside. How powerful is it when you can see problems in your friends that they can't see, and they can see problems in you can't see? That's very common because we're only looking one way. So if somebody says, hey, you're a real idiot. No, I'm not. I don't see that. But it's like, well, someone else is seeing that. But when you put your symbol outside of yourself, you can actually see, actually, look, I look a bit of an idiot. It's like different things start to come from it. So there's lots of reasons why I use a symbol. The other reason I use an object. An object is this represents your word. So, because what you're doing is you're practicing breathing in this exercise with your word. And what is breathing doing? It's contracting and it's expanding, isn't it? I don't know. I mean, that's how Frido sees it. Breathing is basically when your body's contracting. So when all the air's coming out, it's squeezing together. There's no room in there anymore. It's pushing the air out. And then it's expanding. So there's now room inside it to accept the air. So that's how Frido sees the breathing basic technique: expanding and then contracting. So imagine each of your body cells is doing that. Imagine each body cell is contracting itself. So it's pushing everything out and all the energy out of itself. And then it's expanding like a balloon, and it can absorb energy into it. That's a very, very simple explanation of how Frido breathwork works. So we're contracting the cells and we're expanding the cells, but we're connecting it to our word. So we're bringing life into our word. You can do it with any word. So get your object and imagine that's your word, and go into your body shape as well. And when you take a breath in, don't squeeze, just leave it. Leave the object where it is. Don't squeeze it. So you're both filling up with air. And as you breathe out, squeeze it. You're contracting and air is being released. So you're breathing in and you're expanding like a balloon. So release your objects. And as you breathe out, squeeze, contract your object and contract your body. And the air's coming out. Okay, so that's kind of a general basic. And then we can kind of go a bit deeper by practicing with different parts of the body. So now do the same process, but focus on maybe an organ like your heart. So just imagine your heart expanding on the in-breath. So when you breathe in, imagine your heart is expanding like a balloon, and then contract your heart at the same time, squeeze your object that's representing your word, of course, and it's a breath out. So contract it as you breathe out. Actually push the air out. Instead of focusing on the breath going first, it's the heart that's squeezing the air out. And then again, so just breathe. As you breathe in, open everything up. Expand your heart and let your objects release. And again, when we breathe out, contract your heart and contract the object, squeeze it. And just get that feeling of your heart's opening on the in-breath and it's constricting on the out-breath, squeezing together on the out-breath. And now let's move round a bit. Remember, you're not clients here. I'm just giving you a taste. So, in your own time, do this a lot longer. Try another part of your body, maybe your head. So again, on the out breath, so as you breathe out, imagine your head squeezing together, contracting along with your object. And then when you breathe in, your head is expanding. as you release your object at the same time. So you're breathing out, you're contracting, you're squeezing everything together, your whole head. And then you're expanding your head as you breathe in. So you're teaching your body to actually breathe by itself. And now imagine every body cell doing the same thing. So all your body cells now, as they're breathing out, as you're breathing out, every body cell is squeezing, constricting together. It's squeezing together. So as you breathe out, you squeeze those body. Imagine they're squeezing together along with your object. Because don't forget, your object is representing your word. So that's important to do it with you. If you don't include your object, it's still good. You're doing it for your body, but you're not breathing more life into your word. You're not making it become more alive. So that's the purpose of including your word with you. So you're learning to be together, breathing together. That's the point of having the objects. So do that a few more times. Just imagine all your cells, as you breathe in, you release your object. It's also expanding. And as you breathe out, every body cell in your whole body, from the top of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes, are actually squeezing together. In actual fact, your body's not moving. It's not moving out of its shape. It's just squeezing together and expanding in the shape that it's in. So your cells are expanding on the in-breath along with your object. And if you do that for 10 minutes or 20, not now, but another time, practice that. I try and practice that quite a lot with all the other rituals. You can go really deep. You can actually get to a point where you will feel you're at one with your word, and you'll feel you're at one with your whole body breathing. Like you'll feel every part of your body just breathing on its own. And I haven't had too much experience because I need more practice, but I've had quite a few different experiences of having that. And that's a beautiful feeling. It's like when you become embodied with your word and your whole body's breathing and your whole word is breathing, it's like then you become alive and your word becomes alive and it becomes powerful. So that's kind of the body breathing ritual. We're going to come back to questions on that in a few minutes. So if you've got any questions on that, maybe write them down or remember them, because we've just got a couple of things now to finish off the Frido journey, and then we can come back. When I take clients through the journey, I try not to share too much through each process, because I find it takes them off of the journey a little bit. And sometimes the conversation can be just too much conversation. And by the end of the journey, the client will normally just remember what they need to remember, rather than just talking about things for the sake of it at the time. Anything important will stick usually in the memory. And we never look for too many things in Frido. We just look for one or two, golden nuggets that we can take away with us, one especially. All the other things you'll learn through the process, or your client learns, they'll take away with them as well. And they'll find their way in that person's life. So I'm going to finish off we then always finish off with a learning. So we're going to we have a learning. Most of you have done Frido, you know this. It's always about finding one word, one learning. So we never look for more, because it gets too much in the head. So we don't want to do that, but we want to pick the strongest learning. Well, it could be a small learning, or it could be a big learning. It doesn't matter. I never say to a client, it's got to be a big thing, or it could be a small thing. It could be anything. And it's like, and then I'll say, what did you learn? And they'll write it down. I'll say, just write a sentence. Don't write a whole story or a paragraph. Just write a sentence on what you've learned. At the most, maybe it's just 3 or 4 or 5 words, but you'd write down. So maybe you guys just practice that. Write down, like pretend, like, okay, what do I think I've learned from, going through this journey today, even though it's a training and it's not a full experience as a client would have. But what one thing have I taken from it, from a training point of view, you're training to learn about how to do this. So it might be something about the journey, don't overinterpret what I mean. Just kind of whatever comes to you, whatever you think. Remember, it's not what I think, it's what you think that's important. So Frido is the never pushing people to, you know, they're always right. They're always right. I'll share my viewpoint, but you're always right. And you'll share yours with me, and I'm always right in my universe. So this is a lot about Frido. So I saying we're all sharing different things together, but ultimately, you know, we are right about what we're thinking and feeling. So I always do that. I always say, just catch a learning from the whole journey, put it in a small sentence, and then we make it into an affirmation. Why? Some people, let's see if anyone knows. Kirsty, why do we then put the learning into an affirmation from your viewpoint?
From my viewpoint, well, if you put it into an affirmation, it's like, I mean, it's something like a mantra. You know, a mantra's got a special frequency, vibration, and tone. And if you say your affirmation frequently in different tones of voices even, and that's going to actually go into your cells and your body and your memory, your body memory, not just your mind. But if you use a tone of voice with your affirmation, that's going to go into your cells. So that's my viewpoint.
Well, that's a perfect viewpoint. Perfect. So lovely. Anyone at Nadine, what about you? What's your viewpoint of the affirmation?
Affirmation. Good question.
I won't be crossing you off on my list, will I? You won't be getting a star there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you think it's nothing, like it's pointless, or do you think it's got some benefit?
I think it's very good because it's our I don't know really how to explain it. It's just my learning. It makes it like very compact, and then it says yeah, I do it already. Like I don't know how to
Maybe say it in German.
Michael is not there anymore. I think.
Is he not? Oh,
I don't think so.
He's enlightened. You don't...
Yeah, really struggle with explaining what I mean, but I think it's very important to really to make it compact, because sometimes I learn so many things. Like I learned a lot. My whole page is full with stuff I learned, but then the affirmation makes it really compact, and then yeah.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect.
Ask somebody else.
I don't need to. That's perfect, isn't it? You said it right as well. It's compact. It's compacting everything into a single thing. We don't need to have a page of words that we've learned. We'll never remember them anyway. It's like pointless. It's like, so what it's like a book. Yeah. I bet you remember the name of a book more than if I said what's on chapter 6, paragraph 4. You know, it's much easier to remember the name of the whole book. It's like, because that carries all the information in it. When I say the name of the book, it's kind of got all the meaning, all the chapters in that name. So an affirmation is the same. So when we have an affirmation that's short, it's powerful. Like Kirsty said, it kind of goes into your body. It kind of feels good as well. That's actually representing all of your learning for today, or certainly the most important part of your learning. And it captures it. And it's a really great thing to capture. You don't need to know anything else about the session. You just need to tune into that affirmation, and that will be enough, because what it represents for you. You know, why would you want to include anything else? Like, give me an affirmation, Nina. What affirmation have you got for today's learning? Like a 3-worded affirmation or something. Very, very short one.
My affirmation is I am confident.
I am confident. Like, what else do you need? What else what's your word?
Confidence.
Yeah. I mean, what on earth would you want any other words in your brain to do with wanting to feel confident or wanting to learn about confidence, to embody confidence. Is that what you just said? I am confident. What else do you want? That's it. That's exactly what you want.
Yes.
So you don't need to, and you've learned it. You've just said to me, that's my learning affirmation.
Yes.
Just remember that for a minute. Let that sink in. You've already learned it. Not because I've told you you've learned it. You've told me. You've told me that's what you've learned.
Yes.
Yeah, so don't wake up tomorrow and think you haven't learned that. It's like you might be ignoring it, or you might be focusing on something else, but you have learned it. That's why it's so powerful. The mind has learned, it's got it. It's the truth. Don't kind of doubt it. And then the next part of the Frito, which is so important, because that's part of the mind, isn't it? That's the mind convincing the mind it's got it. That learning, it's doing it. It is confident. But then you need to embody it. Then it needs to come into the body. And the only way we can do that is my analogy of going swimming for the first time. We've just read the books and we say, yeah, I can swim. We've learnt that we can swim by reading all those books and watching all the video programs. But we haven't, have we? Because we haven't gone in the water. Our body still can't swim. The chances are there's no way you're going to be able to swim as a body, even though mentally you know how to swim. So we have to then embody it by putting it in our life for real. We've got to jump in the swimming pool. Stop telling me I can do this, I can do that. I know relationship, how they work. I know about love. I know about sex. No, mentally you might do. I agree. You might be the genius of sex mentally, but you go and have sex and you're fucking shit. You don't know what's going on. It's like you'll talk to your friends and say, I'm really good. But actually in bed with your partner, it's like, I'm rubbish. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm talking from personal experience, of course. So it's amazing. Yeah, it's ridiculous. People come to me for coaching and they say, let's go 5 p.m. Where is she? I'm just reading Tiffany's. It's 5 p.m. Yeah, Tiffany, don't worry. I'll just have a quick check-in now because we're literally at the end.
Okay, cool. I didn't want to interrupt or anything. But
no, not at all.
5, so I've got another thing scheduled for 5.
I did say 5, and
okay,
it has kind of crept in a bit later, but we kind of are at the end of this journey, so I'm comfortable with it. Anything that we miss, I'll chase up with you guys. You can read the journeys, the videos, and everything that I might have missed. So just have a think about what you've taken for yourself from this journey. You're going to have to put it into practice. So do the journeys and start practicing them on each other, on friends. Do it on yourselves, of course, first of all. Do it through the videos. Do the rituals. Put the video on the ritual. I did one last night, and I put my audio on, and I just went through the ritual. Because the more I do it, the more you'll learn. So we have pretty got to much to the end of the journey. The last one was the action. And I've talked about that already now, how important it is to action our affirmation. So when you said, I am confident, or Tiffany, you said what? What's your affirmation?
Mine is, I am firmly in my body.
Right. So what are you going to do to go and action that so you prove it physically in the real world?
I think I'm going to do some more conscious meditation of almost like... what's the yoga called where you go through your body? I can't remember, and you don't actually move. I forget what it's called, but where you're actually just kind of in different parts of your body, your arm or your abdomen or your toe and stuff like that, just to bring myself back in, because I don't do that enough.
Exactly. So do it. Like when you give yourself that action, do try and do it. I'm not, if you don't do it,
Yoga Nidra, that's what it is. Yoga Nidra.
Obviously don't upset yourself if you don't do it, but you want to kind of prove it to yourself, because that also validates it in the body. It's like the mind now is saying, I can do it. And the body now is saying, I can do it. And then you just keep on from that point. And it's not that you're going to get it straight away, because we always have the percentage at the end. You might say, well, yeah, I know all that, Gary. I feel a lot better. I've improved, but I'm still 30% or 50% or 70%. It means there's still more to go, right? One journey isn't going to, we're just looking for some improvement. Could be something small or big. We're looking to constantly improve. And then we'll gradually get to where we want to go. And the more evidence we see of that improvement, the faster we'll grow. Because when you see things working, you start to kind of get better at what you're doing and you take it more kind of seriously. So I'm going to carry on a bit for those who want, but I'm going to kind of close it because I want to try and keep to this time right now for the people who thought it's 5 o'clock, which is fine. And you can catch up. You know what to do. We're on the group. We'll keep in touch. If you feel like you've missed anything on this journey today, if you want to have any last words, the ones that want to go right now, I'm going to leave them with the last words. I haven't gone through the percentage. Most of you know how that works already, but we'll have plenty of time on the sessions to understand the percentage and how to kind of do that as well at the end of the journey. It's enough for today. So Tiffany, we'll start with you because you need to go. So yeah, kick away, just a minute or something. Share what you want to share about your session today.
Well, my original word was peace, but then when we started actually getting into it a little bit more, because I mean peace is in like the inner peace, because I've just got so much going on all the time, my word changed to connection, and I mean like body connection with the physical self. So I've done this journey probably, I don't know, 40 times probably, in all, but this time was really different because the word felt really different, and having gone through the thing that you sent us and done the ritual quite a few times myself this week, it just felt really calming actually, and I liked how I could pinpoint the different parts of my body that felt so tight and tense, because I'm not in my body that often. I'm all in my mind and my head, academic brain and whatever. So I've really enjoyed today, so thank you very much for that.
Welcome, lovely to have you. So we'll say goodbye to Tiffany because she's got
you guys. Bye. See you soon.
And then anyone else need to shoot off and they want to do their last bit of sharing? Because if you've got a little bit more time, we can just, we can spend a bit more time sharing if you want. So, well, if you're not in a major rush, who wants to share next?
Me.
Go on then, Nina. So you do your sharing.
Yes, for me it was a great journey because even when we started to get the words, I started with self-confidence, but the more you were explaining about the body, I went from self-confidence, I didn't know which word to choose, and I went to trust, then I want to have, because when you were talking about the body and the body, when you were explaining about the body, so then I put trust because we're going on the journey, we need to trust ourselves, but then I was thinking maybe it's our health, but then at the end I came to confidence. And I've been doing this journey, Frido, quite a lot as well, but today, as Tiffany said, it was different. And today, from all the exercise that we've been doing and the journey, like you said, the first exercise, second exercise, and third exercise, I think this came into my mind that actually what it's exactly is, it's about like you said, the first exercise is drawing, and then the next one is the shape, and then breathing. So it's like we think of something, then we create it, we give it a shape, and then we just put life into it, which is very beautiful. And I learned about the card more as well, about when you said that we have 3 families in each card. We have the parent, which is good and bad, like you said, angel and the demon is there, and then we have the son and the daughter. It's like I got more knowledge about Frido. Like I know I did Frido many times, but I think today it was kind of like getting a little bit deep into it. And I also like the way, like you say, when we do the affirmation, like it's good, like the beginning, like when we think of a word and we go through the journey, the affirmation is really like end of the journey, we all have to give an answer, like what we learned. Like we can't just go without giving the answer. So it's kind of giving an answer, an affirmation, like what we did, like what we learned. So yeah, today was very good, and I really like it. And I think the more the group is bigger, like we have now, it's good because we get more advice and more different view as well. When we started with the body card, like I used to think this way, but then Harry said that Kirsty, magic. So it's kind of, you see that the card is not only one way, the way we think, but there's loads of points of view that people can take a card in Frido. And then that can help us as well, because as we come across lots of people every single day in our life. So that means everyone has their own way of thinking, they have their own point of view, and that can help us to know how to deal with people, how to be able to fit into other people as well. So that's my learning that I learned from today, and I'm very happy that I'm here. And thank you so much. I talk a lot, sorry.
That's beautiful, Lida. Appreciate it. No, I talk a lot. You don't talk a lot.
If I keep talking, I'll never stop as well.
Yeah.
So I have to go because my kids have a birthday party next.
Okay. Yeah, you've got lovely kids. We've met them before, so we'll give you a little shower of love. Enjoy.
Thank you so much. See you again. Bye.
Bye. Oh, bye, guys.
Oh, she wants to say bye as well.
Where is she? Oh, there she is. Look.
It's a new
Bye. Hi. Hi, sweetie.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. I like your haircut.
Bye.
It looks like a new haircut she's got.
Bye.
It's cool.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye. Okay. They're very cute, those kids. Apparently she's very naughty, that one. So Nina tells me. So, okay. So anyone else need to go and need to share first? Okay, Natalia.
I had quite like a little bit off topic, maybe.
Oh, she's frozen, is she? Am I frozen? Hang on. No, I'm on. You there, Natalia? Can everyone wave? Is everyone still here? You got
I think Natalia is frozen.
Oh,
yeah.
Kirsty, you got a wave. I'm not sure if you're frozen or not. Okay, we'll carry on anyway. Oh, there she is. Oh no, she's frozen. All right, she'll come back soon. Who needs to go? Anyone who wants to share next? Magic? Because it's quite late in Magic's world. It must be 1 a.m. in Copenhagen. We don't feel sorry for you because you're in Copenhagen. So fuck that.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Yeah, it's after 11 now. So yeah, so this is my excuse. Yeah, normally I go to bed around 10, but yeah, I'm happy to spend time with you guys and learning lots of stuff from you, Gary. So what can I say? If I need to answer what I've learned from today's teaching, I think the affirmations which you use, I very like the approach, because you are addressing not only the visualization, you are also working with like a feeling and your body. This is today's card, which I understand that affirmation for me is like imagination, projection of affecting your whole body, your DNA, even like in normal life. Situations are happening to us and they are affecting our bodies, our mind, so to say, creating reality for us. But we can change this also by doing visualizations, like affirmations, which is like somehow tricking our brain to react to something which is not real, but we actually using this as like a projection for us. So through those techniques, I understand that we can actually change our approach to something, to our problems, to our desires, without experiencing in real life. Yeah, so we can like create illusion, desire, which actually help us to evolve. And I think this is, from my perspective, I see this like as a very useful tool. As I said, it is not only just illusion. You are feeling this. This is the feeling which you are working with, and I'm happy to explore this further, because I think I understand already how it works. But you are with Frida, you are going really deep into that. So thank you for that, Gary.
You're welcome. Excellent. And just to mention, in Frido, the mind is real. In Frido, it is actually real. I know what you mean when you say it's not reality, but it is real in Frido. It's as totally real as anything else. And that's the thing. We need to recognize that it is actually real. It's a real being. It's got its own body. So that's important. Otherwise, we're not validating it if we don't think it's real. So, and that helps us, you know. And it is real. Actually, it's not real in the sense of your body experiencing that same reality, but it's having its own reality. It's got its own reality in its world. It's absolutely real. So in Frido, careful not to say nothing's real, because you're like now saying to your mind, you're not real. You're not, you know, you're not actually real. But actually it is real. Yeah.
I understand, and I think you understood me also. Just I'm talking a little bit from perspective of like.
I get it. Yeah, no, I understand.
Seeing the world like normally.
Yeah, I often say that as well. But just something to really be conscious of, because I often say that as well. It's in the mind and it's not reality. But I try and train myself to say, no, it's a mental reality. But in actual fact, the mental is also a physical body. And that's hard to understand.
Although I know that we need to be very conscious what kind of words we are using it, because we can actually do lots of damage using
again, that's why it's important just to have your own meaning and your own understanding. That's the most important thing, of course. Doesn't matter. As long as you understand. Anyway, won't go there.
So thank you, and have a good evening, guys.
Yeah, you too. Big shower of love.
See you next week.
Yeah, take care. Magic.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, anyone else? Who's next? Oh, there's only there's you guys.
Oh my God, guys, I got to tell you something. I mean, I didn't even tell Harry, because I'm going to teach on this retreat. It's really by 6 we need to leave. I was checking my emails, and Harry doesn't even know I applied for this thing, but I applied to go and kind of internship at the Centre of Alternative Technology that's in Wales, and they accepted me. They said they loved my my application form was ridiculously good. Guy Barrington wrote me the best review ever, and I got a 4 days trial from the 9th to the 13th of August, which is the only time that I'm actually free, more or less.
Cool.
So I go to Wales for 4 days, and Julia told me that this place, I'm gonna love it. She said it's the most amazing place.
And what are you doing there?
I'm gonna learn about permaculture, foraging, wild living, how to live without this fucking bullshit.
That's cool.
How cool.
Roots, and I'm gonna teach that to all of you guys.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Yeah.
Them Frido, Tantra, fucking yoga shit.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. Good. And my word was and my thing was do it now. So that's why I was doing everything now.
Right.
And I sent the thing to Harry as well. Do it now, Harry, do it now. So I'm excited. The only thing I'm a little bit like, I'm not sure, because it's like a 6-month-long thing. That means that I won't see any of you guys for 6 months, but it's not until October, I think. So I'll go and check it out, and then I'll see if it's my vibe. Talk to everybody about it and see.
Yeah, Harry his beard doesn't look that happy about that.
6 month break. Shit. Oh, dear.
Wow.
If we've got a camper van, you can come
learn
and
all
live
this stuff.
there and do all your work from there.
Yeah,
It would
but
be
the stuff that
epic.
you learn could help all of us for that. Like,
Do you want to come and live in there in the camper van? They'll probably let you.
Maybe.
I'm very persuasive, guys. Very persuasive.
Wait, that might she's very persuasive, isn't she? Like, yeah.
Oh,
That's cool.
great.
That's excellent. That's really cool. And it happened all what now? Like during the
Facebook
last
or-
2 hours?
Well,
I've been listening. I've written loads of notes. You see, I'm going to.
Well, no, what I mean is it's a great thing. I'm saying that's wonderful that things are happening during the process. Like, amazing. Isn't that cool? We could just do the process, and during that process, everything happens. It's like,
yeah.
That's nuts. Really, I feel like I'm in a lucid dream 24/7. That's how crazy my life is at the moment.
Oh.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks to you guys. Definitely have a big effect. Well done. Round of applause.
Round of applause to you, Sharon.
cool.
Oh, nice.
Lovely. Okay, good.
So
Yeah.
Gary's got a life-changing idea. He hasn't told me yet.
No,
What
I'll
is
tell you
it?
about that after. But it's
Oh,
not life changing.
sorry.
But regarding this session, I really enjoyed it. The full body breathing. I think there was resistance to that before.
I
even
thought so, yeah.
Yeah, there was. I'm going to practice it though as my own daily ritual, and because it makes sense to me what you're saying. I think that's really important. It's not just what we're talking about logically. It's the rituals that are important to do every day, and I really resonate with that one. I resonate with all of them, but so I'm going to take that on board and practice my cells and all my body breathing because no one ever does that. We just focus on one type of breath work. I'll let you guys know how powerful it is, and then if I find it's powerful, which I'm sure I will, and get better at it, then I'll definitely put that as part of the 3-day retreat and focus in on that one. But also, what you said about the asanas, whilst we're doing these thoughts and stuff, maybe we could do our own version of like asanas, powerful physical poses, and then also the words, because then it makes you feel the body whilst you're doing that. You're doing both at one, isn't it?
What do you mean?
The mind and the body is taken care of. Like,
What do you mean though? When you say like what? So your word, for example.
Okay, my word was stillness. So I'll do a yoga pose. That is powerful physical therapy anyway, but whilst thinking of the word stillness with the yoga pose would probably enhance, would make the thought process, because my mind's going to wander from that word, make it easier.
Oh, well, sorry, I didn't make that clear. I did mean to do it that way.
Oh, you did mean to do it that
Yeah,
way?
yeah, because it's like, I think we had the object.
Yeah.
And the object is your word.
Right.
Stillness. So you're breathing together.
Yeah.
With stillness.
Oh, right, I see. Yeah.
And so you're learning to breathe together with stillness to begin with. But you're right, that's a way to connect the stillness to the body. So I'm going to get a drink. I'm coughing my guts up.
Plenty of Buddha tea.
Oh. So yeah, that's exactly right, Harry. It's like I'm learning to connect my body breathing to stillness by using the object. But it's really good to do it with the object. So it's because you don't want to have to think of stillness too much. Once you're using the object and you've said this is stillness, it helps you connect. But you could repeat that word if you needed to through the process. Like if you wanted to just remind yourself, yeah, I am stillness as I'm breathing, or repeating it, stillness, or just knowing that it's still, eventually you don't need to repeat it, of course. It's just, and you don't need free dog because it's just instantly there. You're easily connecting to stillness because just by setting that intention, but sometimes I do remind myself to a ritual. I just check in and make sure I just say that word just to kind of reconnect me into it, because sometimes we might go off. But you're right. The more eventually, if you can embody it and you actually feel like you are stillness, breathing, that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
That is absolutely. So what you said is perfect. Anything to remind yourself, do that breathing. I mean, maybe I didn't make it too clear when I did it, but that's the whole object. But, well said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'm going to practice as my takeaway every day. Maybe I'll build up from a couple of minutes because I'll probably not be motivated to do more than that and see if I notice improvements. I'm sure I will, then I'll just do it more and more. So I'm going to get addicted to it, I think. But we'll see.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Let's write it down. Yeah.
That's really good. Okay. And also the rituals are designed. I've designed them because I'm such a lazy. Design them that you can do them anywhere. I do most of mine in bed when I'm going to sleep. Or if I wake up in the morning or in the middle of the night, I'll often go to the toilet. I'll come back and do a ritual. I'd rather do a ritual than try and, you know, have to fall back to, unless I'm really tired. You know, if I'm kind of not that tired, I'll do a ritual. But I've found that when I wake up and before I go to sleep, or when I wake, it's better for my body to do a ritual than to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found that it's like stretching. You're much better to do stretching rather than sleeping, because the stretching's much better for your body. And also when you go to sleep, if you haven't stretched, of course, you know, you're going to have not such a, your body's not going to be so comfortable sleeping anyway, just because you've shut off your mind, you know, and gone to sleep. So actually I find I like to do the rituals and any excuse, sitting on the train, you know, because I just value what they're doing for my body. And of course, they're not just good for the body, but they're connecting us to that word. So that's why it's so important to use that word, include it, because actually that's really important, because it's so important. It's not just about the body, because like I said, if you're just a body, I mean, that's great. And if your body's functioning well, that's terrific. But you want your whole life to be like that. So we include that word so we can start affecting those parts of our life, the words we're choosing, because that then bounces off. That then helps you, because for example, if you're working with the word money and you're doing the breath work and suddenly money comes in, that's going to help your body, isn't it? You know, you've got more money now, so you can take it more easy. You can spend time doing exercise instead of working. They kind of bounce off each other. So it's always important to bring a word in. I choose a word because, well, it's just the way how we understand things. That's all. It's not really so important, the word. It's just the meaning and also the feeling of that word. Sometimes if someone's very kinesthetic, it's more that they feel it. They can feel money. And people who are more like in their brain, they will have a meaning for money. They'll understand it mentally. And some other people understand it as a feeling, in like a more emotionally or whatever, sensually. And they're both equally important and equally as powerful. Yeah, so carry on, Harry. Sorry about that. Just butted in.
Yeah, and lastly, I'll say that the affirmations, I love them. Just to keep it short, I think it was Nadine and the other guy said that it's concise. It's really powerful because we do tend to overcomplicate things. And also, that's the mind. Then the body, I really like, and I guess that's how I've done it. I didn't even think about it. Like I was never doing the affirmations. I was doing the body. But if you did both, so you do an action of your body to confirm the affirmation, then the affirmation becomes real. So that's really powerful.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. It comes back to that aeroplane analogy. If the aeroplane's flying through the sky and it starts to change its shape, you know, it's going to affect it. It's going to affect it. So if you're going through your life and your word was, what was your word again?
I breathe better.
Stillness,
but I breathe better as the affirmation. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I breathe better. Yeah. So if you put a shape to that, you'll probably find that you breathe better. So that's right, through life. So the shape is the action. So you're creating action, and actions are actually shapes, aren't they? They're just different shapes, one after the other. You're moving into kind of different shapes, but all the shapes are connected to your affirmation, and your affirmation is connected to your stillness, because what you'll probably find is that particular affirmation and that action that you'll do with it, you'll probably find more stillness by doing those. If you can imagine that affirmation is true in your life right now, and the breathing, it's all happening, it's all perfect, that will probably be part of that stillness. It will help you go into stillness more. So it's all connected in Free. That's always connected to the word, but it doesn't matter if we lose the word along the way, because it's all connected. So that's really nice. Thanks, Harry. Anything else before we shower you off, and we'll hear Nadine? Nadine will be the last one.
Nadine can go. Yeah.
Okay, a bit of a shower for Harry.
Yeah, I did so many Fritos and the tests and stuff like that in the last few days that my head is full with Frito. but I also want to say with the affirmation and the action or practice, what we do in the end, it's really, in the beginning, I always thought, oh, it sucks because it's like a bit uncomfortable or just, but in the end, I think it's like, sorry, it's really, it really forces you to think about it and really shrunk it to the essence of your journey. And then the practice or the action is like, that is really, it's a challenge, but then if you do it, it just feels so good. And yeah, really, really like those two things about Frito. That makes really a difference to the whole Frito journey, I find.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Nads.
Thank you.
So well done, guys. So it was a bit of you know, we're easing into the Frito. I know there's a lot to learn, and I know these sessions there's a lot to take in. But like I said, practice on the website. They're there all the time, and practice in particular this one because that's the one we've gone through. So focus on that one this week. Don't do you can do other ones, but focus on this one because you want to kind of really nail this one down. And next week we're going to start on the next card, which will be the brain journey. But it doesn't sound too scary, Kirsty, because you might not like that word brain.
I've got a good brain.
But in actual fact, you're going to love it. It's probably one of the best journeys that you'll love because what it is it's about all about crazy mantra. It's crazy mantra, and it's also and it's kind of action, crazy action, and it's fun. Yeah, it's kind of because what it is it's about getting out of our brain. So the whole brain journey is actually about making it more pliable and kind of loose and kind of, you know, flexible and stuff.
Sharing all the world with you. You may say I'm a dreamer. I put some paint on mine and Harry's t-shirt. I painted Harry without asking him.
Oh, imagine all the people. Oh my God. Oh my God.